Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori Schickalone and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. I just want to take the time to thank everybody for joining me today, my regular subscribers, my commenters, people who are new to me. I'm so happy to visit with you and you visit with me. That's how we get to know each other. So I'm going to go right in because I have a lot to share with you today. The last time we met, I was telling you that my mother-in-law was coming to stay with us for a while. My mother-in-law is 90 years old. And she doesn't get out of the house much, except maybe doctor's appointments and a few family visits. But other than that, she doesn't. She has trouble walking. So we decided to take her out. And the first day we took her out, we took her to the Sands Casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. My mother-in-law used to love to go down to Atlantic City. Not that she went often. She might have gone down like maybe a handful of times. But the times that she did go, she had a nice time. So when we mentioned it to her, she was like, oh yeah, let's do this. So we took her there for the day. No one came out ahead, but we had a lot of playing time. So that in itself is a good thing. So then the next night, we went to a pocketbook bingo at my daughter-in-law's school. What they do is they either purchase handbags or they get donations and they put them up for bingo prizes. So was it the first one? No, the second bag my mother-in-law won. She was so excited, but it was a backpack. And she wanted to give it to me, but I already have one, so she gave it to Rebecca. And she was so happy to do that. She was happy she won. We had a fun time. We had wonderful people at our table. Some, of course, was Rebecca's mom and her aunt, but then there was parents from the school, and they were lovely, just lovely. So we had a really, really fun time, and we were happy to get my mother-in-law out. She was tired the next day, but she didn't do anything else. What I did have her do was bring her recipes over so that she can, these are the hand-me-down recipes that I guess in the past you would say a cup, but a cup to them might not have been a measuring cup, it might have been a mug. So we wrote down the recipes as she had them. She had them written in Italian, and so I wrote them down in English, and most of it was just the ingredients, not any procedures. So I have those recipes, and then it was time for her to go back home. But I did try one of the recipes. My husband has a number of fig trees in the backyard, and now that the winter is upon us, or winter is coming, we have to cover them every year. So yesterday we were out covering one of them, and it was so cold, and my husband pulled something, so we couldn't cover another one that we got most of the figs from this year. So we're hoping that this snow that we're supposed to be getting today into tomorrow is not going to kill it, and we have still time to cover it. I mean, there's still leaves on it. They say the leaves have to fall before they're covered. So anyway, long story short, we gathered a bunch of figs recently because we've had a pretty mild fall, and the figs were still coming out. So I had almost 4 pounds of figs, and I cooked them down. We chopped them up. We peeled most of them. I put pictures on my Instagram this morning in case you want to check it out, but I didn't tag many places other than Flosstubers on Instagram and my own page. And what we did was we peeled them, cut them, we weighed them, so it was almost 4 pounds to 2 cups of sugar. And because they were fresh figs, my mother-in-law had said just put a little bit of water, so we were going to do 1/4 of a cup, but my husband got downstairs and got the brandy out, and we put a 1/4 cup of brandy in it and cooked it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And this is the outcome of the figs. It's like a jam, no pectin or anything to make it like jelly, but just a thick, almost like a paste, so that you can work with it to make cookies. And then I looked up a recipe. I used her recipe, and I looked up a second recipe, so I made 2 doughs, and because I wanted to try them out, and I made some cookies. Not bad for my first try, but so that's where I am in life stories. So I'm going to go into, before I go into my finishes, I want to share with you another giveaway I won. Pam and Steph from Just Keep Stitchin mentioned this new Flosstuber, Amanda May, and she goes by Ardith Designs. I will link it below. Every cross stitcher, floss tuber, anybody I mention, I will link below so that you can always go back and check them out. Full of energy, Amanda May is, and she was giving a giveaway. Oh, I forgot to pull the 2 coffee little pieces that I did. I showed them in a video before, like one of my first or second videos. They were little, one was Kathy Haberman design of a cuppa, and the other one was a Lizzie Kate coffee. And I did them and I put them in 2 little frames and they hang in my kitchen. So she was giving a pattern away of coffee. Let's Do Coffee, designed by Ursula Michael. And I said, oh, that would be really cool. Let's see. Okay. A little bit better. There we go. To get done and hang in my kitchen along with the other ones. So so Amanda wrote a really nice note to me, and what she included was her latest pattern. She's a designer, and because of Steph making banana pants, such a awesome words, she did this design called, let's see, I want to get it really, I have a second light on today because it's dreary outside. Banana Pants Purdy. And it's a banana boat is on this side, a lighthouse, and it's hard to see. The cat has banana pockets. Yeah, so cute, so cute. Thank you so much, Amanda May. I love this. As a matter of fact, Amanda has a book where that she designed herself, available on Amazon. If you go to her videos, she tells you how to get it, and it's on my Christmas list. The boys are always asking for a list for me, and this time I'm just writing everything that I want, and if I don't get it, I'll just go out and get it myself after Christmas. But you know, they want a list, I give them a list. Okay, to finishes. Now, I don't know if you remember from my last floss tube, November 1st was going to be starting new things. I think I started like 7, 8, or 9. I don't remember how many, but I had them that I was going to start every other day. And the first one was the Lizzie Kate sleds, and I was really excited about that little cardinal and the mug, but the cardinal more so. So what I did was I stitched them up on perforated paper, and I put them on sleds, and I got the sleds at my L&S, and so I got the perforated paper there as well. And I liked that bird so much that I just stitched the bird and the branch. Let's do it on this side. And you know, it's hard to find trim that is burgundy, and I didn't want to do red, just to do something different. So I put the burgundy bows on them, and I went to Joann's, I went to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, but Michael's doesn't have really trim. They have ribbon. I looked at the ribbon section, whatever trim they did have. We even have a store out here called AC Moore. I checked with them. No burgundy trim. So I was in my closet one day, and I saw a bag in the corner, and it was remnants from wool that I was at a quilt exposition, and there were vendors there, and they were selling wool. So I had purchased some wool, and she had a bag of all the salvages of the wool, which this is. I don't know if you can tell that I stitched it on, but I didn't glue it. and it's just a piece of the selvage from the wool. And I saw burgundy, so that's what I did with this one. Again, infatuated with the bird, I did it again. Last year, somebody showed this ornament that was sent to them, and they said, the person who did it said that they bought it at Walmart. So last year I went to Walmart. It was the end of the season when I saw this ornament, and they didn't have it. So this year we happened to be at Walmart. That's why it is. We went to Walmart, and I looked for it, and it was there. So it's basically just a wire frame, and it had the bell, it had this little trim, and I just put the circle on it and I glued it. Now, I did get some glue on the finished piece, so what I did was I covered it up with Swarovski crystals for snowflakes. Oh well. So that was my bird, my ornament. Okay, so on the 2 days I stitched all those little pieces because they went really quickly, and I said as many as I get done in the 2 days that I was allotting for Lizzie Kate, I was going to do. Another one that I did is these mittens, Warm Hands, Warm Heart. It was in last year's Cross Stitch magazine, and same thing, I finished it. This time I didn't glue it on. I glued this ribbon, no, it's not ribbon, it's trim, to the back of the piece that I stitched, and then I just tied it on here in case I ever decide I want to take it off. And that's that one. Okay, I have to move this so that I can continue. Excuse me. The next day was, I think it was this one, Christmas tree. It's a JBW Christmas tree. Let's see, I'm going to shut this light and see if it helps. See, it's too dark. Okay, and this is how I finished it. I just made a pattern. I don't know, I just kind of winged it, and I rounded the corners instead of trying to get pointy corners. Try to hold it still for you. I rounded the corners, and it made it easier for me. And I just used a piece of felt in the background, again with some trim from the yarn section of the Joann's. And what I did was, to mirror it, I made half and then traced it, and then I scotch taped it together to get a perfect equilateral triangle. So that was another 2 days. Then I worked on Lizzie Kate Tidy Tidings 19, and I decided to do the snowman. And him I made very simple as far as trimming it. And I could always add it if I choose to, but at this point he's there. And I used the back. I love those little cardinals. I kind of cut the fabric out so that I would get the cardinals in the picture. And there's a little cardinal on his hat, which is right now hidden by the bow. So that was another start. This was from Cindy Cross Stitch, sent this to me, pattern, Joy. And what I decided to do was, I decided not to do the blue in the background of the snowflake. So what I can't show you the pattern, but what I did was I drew out the pattern for the snowflake without the background, so that I didn't have two colors to try to figure out, so I can see better basically. So I drew it out, and this is my piece. I made it as a little pillow, and I did it on blue fabric. Let's see here. The white snowflake is definitely more visible in person, and I just put some trim again from the yarn section of Joann's. I bought white and red, and what I did was I measured out 3 yards of each color, and I put them in little baggies, snack bags, and I gave them away at retreat with a button for every person who attended the New Jersey retreat last year. So I had some left, and that's what I trimmed this pillow with. Alrighty, I'm going to put this aside because we have a story for that one. And then in my rotation, I went back to my rotations of working on projects that I was working on prior, and one of them was the Little House Needleworks pumpkins. And I decided to change it up and make it, it's not the greatest, but I like it. I really do. It's pumpkins. And I made it a pillow. Got the fabric from Joann's. And this trim is also from the selvage of the wool that I found in that bag. And oops, let's get it back in frame. And I think it's darling. I can't wait to put it out. I only have a couple of weeks left to show it, but I didn't want to put it out until I shared it with you. One more finish, and then I'll go on to my whips. This was a new start. Oh no, I have 2 more finishes, but they're not fully finished. This is a shepherd bush. I couldn't think of Deck the Halls. And this is, he had it, the needlework store, I refer to Kevin as he had this model in the store, and it was large. It was a very large piece, and I bought it last year. And being new to Flosstube, I really wasn't accustomed to figuring out the stitch count, the size, and things like that. So usually I would just buy something and do it and not know. And luckily, most of the time, if I did anything, it fit the piece of fabric that I had. So now that I saw this, it's called for it to be done on 19 count, but 2/2. So I didn't want it that big. I just wanted to make it a little thing that I can display in a wreath. So then I bought a wreath at AC Moore. The wreath was $2.99, but it wasn't decorated at all. So I bought some trim, and this is, oops, Deck the Halls. And it's just held on by a ribbon, and I could take it out. I could hang it on my tree if I choose to. I can back it on something else. But right now, I like the idea of just putting it on a wreath. Oops, Deck the Halls. There. Alrighty. Okay. Autumn ABCs. I'm a little late to the game, but I did finish this. I didn't fully finish it, and I probably won't for a while now because it's not going to be done by. And I used the call for colors because I don't know how to really switch things out really well. So I figure the designers know more than I do. Okay, that's better. Sorry. So I'm thinking of, doing it on some kind of sticky board and then attaching it to something. The other one I finally finished was "'Tis the Season" by Blackbird Designs. It was a stitch along. It was the first one I participated in. I changed the French words to the English words. I changed it to red. And I recharted the date. I think it was 2009 in the pattern to 2018. I spread it out more because I was done with white snowflakes. It was called for a half a snowflake in this corner, like right by the date. So I just made the date bigger. Okay. So I don't know how I'm going to finish this. I'm hoping I can find a frame at Goodwill or I was thinking about the pillow because, you know, a large pillow, like adding a border around this one and then making it a pillow. So I haven't decided yet. And the last thing that I did this past week, I was at Michael and Rebecca's house, my daughter-in-law and son, and we were having lunch, and she took out some placemats. She made a comment that she only had 4 of one and 4 of another. They didn't match. I said, oh, don't worry about it. You know, we're family. So it dawned on me, since we're going there for Thanksgiving, to make her some placemats. So I just finished them yesterday. And this is the placemat. I made her 12 of these. I'm hoping for family growth in the future. And I just, you can't see the back, but that's the back. I just did a stippling stitch to hold the batting in between. And basically I finished this just like I would a pillow with cross stitch, right sides together. Okay, in this case I put batting, and then I flipped it. I did a hem stitch around the outside. It's basically a stitch right at the outside, and that's how I closed the bottom. And then after I did all 12 of them, then yesterday I stippled them with the sewing machine, free motion quilting. Okay, I think that's it. I have my notes here because how many times I forget to tell you things. My whips. Okay, whips. I don't have many. You know, I started all these things. I said I had startitis, and everything that I started in September, in October, and now November, a lot of them I finished, and I fully finished some of them. But my idea was to build up my whips. Like, you know, people say, oh, I have 50 whips. I have 100 whips. I have 4 whips. So what I decided, I have plans for next year, so I won't get into that just now. Right now I'm just going to do my whips, and then a little bit of haul, and then my plans. So just last night I took this one off the Q-Stack in a 2-day rotation, and I did number 6. This is Farmhouse Christmas, and I did the 6-block farm. And I realized when I picked this up and I started doing the border, that the border on this here, right here, was filled in. If you look closely, I don't know if too many people are stitching this right now, that center block in, you know, these little 4 square ones is empty. But I had a section from here down here that I filled them in. And at first I was going to leave it. But then when I held the Q-snap back and I looked at the thing, it really, really stood out of white. So I knew I couldn't. So I took it all out and restitched it. And then I started stitching the border on this side. And yesterday was our library group, and I brought this with me. And okay, so it's a 4 stitch and then a 1 stitch and a 4 stitch. I kept missing the 1 stitch and had to redo it. Take it out, redo it. Can't tell you how many times. And I can't blame it on, you know, people being there or whatever, because the other one, I was at home alone. So it's just something I had to work through. Sorry, one of my finished whips fell. Okay, so that's, so the next one that I'll be doing, I finished farm, and the next one is number 7, which is, I love that roof. I don't know if I'll love stitching it, but I do love that plaid roof. Okay, I'll put this here. Excuse me while I reach down and pick up. Right before Farmhouse Christmas, I worked on bobbing for pumpkins. Brenda Gervais, and this is how far I got. I'm working on the second witch here, her dress, the bottom of her dress, her feet, and then a few more stars and snowflakes or little stars. You can't tell, but the pumpkins in the cauldron do have a background stitch in them now. It wasn't filled in, so I got that done. most of this witch, the owl and the moon. And what happened was I ran out of thread for her, so I ordered it, and hopefully by the next rotation it'll be here. And I think in 2 days I should be able to finish that, so then I'll have another finish that I won't have. And the two pieces that I didn't, which are also considered whips, that I didn't stitch on, so I'm not showing you them this time, but I'll be working on the Heritage Sampler for 2 days, and then Joy for 2 days, and then for November I'm just going to keep working on the 4 of them, because my plans are, okay, I'm skipping over haul, but okay, I'll go into my plans. My plans are to have more whips, so that, you know, maybe I can do a wheel and spin and decide what I'm going to stitch on. But in order to get more whips and decide what patterns I was going to do, I took out my boxes of patterns. I only have 2, but I have patterns, and decided how I can break them down. So in December, the plan is that I'm going to do winter and Christmas stitching. For January, now my last video I showed you some high heels that I thought would make a nice gift for somebody. I can't get it done by Christmas, but I might be able to do it for June when it's this person's birthday. So I'm going to start it in January. I'm going to start another gift that I'm giving away in January. So January is going to be gifts and some miscellaneous stitching of patterns that I bought that I should be working on. February is about 6 months before the 4th of July in July for patriotic. So I decided February I'm going to be stitching on patriotic and family themed. My family themed things that I consider. I mean, at the end of every month I will show you, like in my next video I will show you what my December plans are, and show you the patterns and what fabrics I've chosen, because I'm not going to kit everything up until I'm ready to start it. So next video I'll show you everything that I'm planning to start in December, and then whatever whips I have, continue working on those, work them into a rotation. March is going to be summer, so that I'm planning like to do the basically 4 to 6 months ahead of time of doing projects for the next season, so that I have very little for Halloween, and I have very little for Thanksgiving or autumn. So the plan is to build up, to put things around the house for the different holidays. April is, it'll be just about a year that I started Flosstube, and it'll be my anniversary and my birthday. And I decided to do whatever I really love, that I bought the pattern, I hadn't started it, and that's my birthday month, and I'm going to do what I want. May, Stitch Mania. So my Stitch Mania is going to be Halloween and autumn. I'm going to try to do that, and then maybe for but my starts are always going to be for 2 days. I'm not going to do one, put it away, and have that kind of craziness in my life. I'm going to do 2 days. So I'll stitch it on for like Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday I pick up the next one and do it like that. And Stitch Mania, I might do that for the first 19 days for 2019. I don't know. But that's the plan right now. June will be like, okay, take a breather, see what you have as far as whips, how you're working with them, and recalculate what you want to do. July definitely is going to be Christmas in July, and it's going to be big projects. You know, I want to work on Christmas Quaker, holiday Quaker. I'm going to do some big projects for Christmas, and little ones, and see where I get, and see what previous ones that I've started for winter that I didn't finish, I'm going to hold to work on in July to have ready for the next winter. And what I want to call out to Julie from Kansas City Girl in Colorado World, I'm going to start Christmas at Hollyberry Farm in July. You had said we would do a stitch along. I don't know if you have plans of stitching it earlier or not, but mine is to start it in July. And that's all I've done so far. So I've done half a year of plans of how I'm going to move on with getting some whips. And I think Julie has a lot of whips. I won't tell you how many. You have to go to her Flosstube to find out. Okay, now a little bit of haul. I went to Hobby Lobby, and I've seen this a couple of times by the register on a magnet board, and I always wanted it, so this time I bought it. It's just a little frame, and it has a magnet in the back, and you pop it out and you put a picture in it. Eventually I'm going to put a a stitch piece in here. When I find the right one, I could always repaint the frame black, white, blue, but I really like that one. And here it is, sorry, a la Priscilla and Chelsea. This was at 80% off, so I couldn't leave it in the store anymore. And it had, like, I bought 2 tins like this, but it didn't have a rod. So, you know, I said, oh, maybe I can figure out something. I never figured out something. Right now it's holding some of my whips that I showed you today. My finishes, I mean. But I am going to fill this up with Christmas and finishes that I made for Christmas in here. And that's the plan for that. I picked up this, it's a wooden cross stitch of a stocking. And you do, I don't want to open it because I'm thinking it might be a gift for somebody, but I picked this up. And then I was watching Ingabor from A Stitch Too Far, and she was talking about this new Flosstuber that I went to check out. His name is Bart, and he is from the Netherlands, but I believe he's living in Sweden right now. And he's a fairly new stitcher, about a year, and I think he's going for his master's degree. And he started stitching, and he decided to make a floss tube. So Ingabor says, you know, go check him out, give him some love. So I did. And I loved the pattern that he finished. Because I'm such an avid follower of Game of Thrones, I've watched it a number of times. He showed this pattern, and he had stitched it on black Ada, House of Stark. Some of you that don't follow Game of Thrones, sorry. I really like the series. The last season is coming out in April. I guess they're celebrating my birthday as well. And this is the House of Stark, and winter is coming, so I love this. So, and then I also bought House of Targaryen because Mother of Dragons. Need I say more? So, I really would love to get these 2 done. And it's not even in my plans yet, but I think this one looks a little bit lighter because if I'm not mistaken, it might have been stitched with red thread, and I wasn't going to use the color in the printer. And it's like 14 pages. I think 12 of them they showed, which you learn from your mistakes. Like I printed out all of them because some of them was printed on black, but that's not what I wanted. I just wanted printed on the white one. So this one had less pages than this one. Anyway, this was from the designer on this is Lolita Made on Etsy. So and they're having a buy one get one free pattern. She has a lot more than just Game of Thrones. And it was buy one get one free, so you bought one and then she emailed you your second choice. And what else? She was also having a special, I think, 4 patterns for $10. I'm forgetting now, but check her out. She had some really adorable patterns, so that's where I got that. I ordered a pattern at my LNS the last time I was there. So I told you about my plans. The other thing I wanted to tell you about was this Saturday is another meetup at Needleworkers Delight from some of the stitchers that we met each other from the New Jersey retreat. And we're trying to get together once a month at the store to have a meetup and stitch and chat and get to know each other better and have fun. So we're doing that, and I just want to say that I will be making another video probably like the last day in November, so that I can share with you my December plans. But I wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I wanted to say how thankful I am that you've come and become a part of my Flosstube journey. And Cindy had said if I didn't like the pattern, which I did like the pattern, I stitched the pattern to pass the stash. So I will be passing this. It's a Lizzie Kate, Joy to the World. But because one pattern technically shouldn't travel alone, I'm going to include, why yes, I can drive a stick. 2 different seasons, but Lizzie Kate, I've stitched them, I'm passing them on. And basically all you have to say is, please do not say giveaway. Please do not infer giveaway in any way. All I need you to say is, I enjoy stitching Lizzie Kate. And by you saying that, I will put you in for the drawing. I will probably draw, let's see, November 28th. I'm going to say the 28th this way. I have a day 29 to write all the names down. And then I will do the random number generator. And on the 30th, hopefully God willing, I can upload another video, and I will let you know who the winner is of these 2 patterns. So, I just want to say my prayers go out to everybody out in California. Stay safe. I'm hoping that the monies that will be and are donated to the relief of helping these people get to them. And my prayers are with you. It brings me to tears every time I watch the news about it. And be thankful that we have our lives and we can move forward. So, love sent your way. Love sent to all my Flosstube viewers, and happy Thanksgiving, and see you next time. Bye.